Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. Today, I'm going to do your September the 28th, just for today, in a meditation. Hope you're doing well this morning. I'm doing excellent this morning. Excited to be in the process of finishing school. Okay, so the title of the meditation for today is Hope. Gradually, as we become more God-centered and then self-centered, our despair turns to hope. Let me reread that. Gradually, as we become more God-centered and self-centered, our despair turns to hope. That comes from our basic text, page 95. As using addicts, despair was our relentless companion. It colored our every waking moment. Despair was born of our experience in active addiction. No matter what measures we tried to make our lives better, we slid ever deeper into misery. Attempts we made to control our lives frequently met with failure. In a sense, our first step in mission of powerlessness was an acknowledgment of despair. Steps 2 and 3 lead us gradually out of that despair and into new hope, the companion of the recovering addict. Having accepted that so many of our efforts to change have failed, we come to believe that there is a power greater than ourselves. We believe this power can and will help us. We practice the second and third steps as an affirmation of our hope for a better life, turning to this power for guidance. As we come to rely more and more on a higher power for the management of our day-to-day life, the despair arising from our long experiment with self-sufficiency disappears. Just for today, I will affirm my third step decision. I know that with a higher power in my life, there is hope. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Hope. I like that. Hope is the companion of the recovering addict. I like that. I never really thought of hope being my companion, but it definitely is something that rides with me day in and day out, right? So we can call it like hope is our ride or die friend. It's our companion. We need hope. How do we get it though? How do we get it? How did I get it? I got hope, the type of hope that stays with you, even in despair, even at when my faith is at its least, there's still a glimmer of hope. How do I get that hope? How did I get it? I got it from absolute despair. I got it from the gift of desperation. Because when we're talking about taking the first step and admitting our powerlessness, being an acknowledgement of despair, we're talking about our powerlessness and the unmanageability. It's the unmanageability that really caught my attention. It wasn't so much the powerlessness. Yeah, I couldn't change it. I kept picking up, I kept using day after day. Then I found myself sneaking to use at work. I found myself, lying to my husband about how often I was using. I found myself uh, taking stuff back to the store so I can get money to buy what I needed to use, right? Found myself hanging out with a guy named Whiskey in his backyard over a burning barrel. My goodness, a burning barrel in the middle of winter, hanging out with Whiskey to drink his whiskey. Listen, folks, let me tell you something. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm a married woman and I'm doing that. Okay. So this is what I want to say about this. The powerlessness, right? That was apparent, but it was the unmanageability that caught my attention. My life had become so unmanageable. I could not lie enough. I could not steal enough. I could not cheat enough. I could not do any other things that was important to me. I could not clean my house the way I wanted to. There were a ton of things that were taking place that were staring me in my face that said, your life is pretty unmanageable and you're pretty much at the bottom here. And you promised that you would not take your life, but it is sounding pretty good here, because how in the world are you going to dig yourself out of this mess? I couldn't do it. What's the problem here? I'm the main component in every situation, so it's clearly me. I'm usually on my A game. When did I fall off? Oh, okay. 16, 17, hanging out with a drug dealer. Gotcha. Might need to look at that on a deeper level. And I still allow myself to go into deeper levels of psychosis before I fully surrendered. So it was the despair that got my attention, the unmanageability that got my attention, the hope that things could get better was not my own. The hope that things could get better was actually hanging out with relatives that were in recovery and knowing what their life had come to before they received the gift of desperation, and to look at how they were doing at that moment. They were doing much better. I received my hope from looking at family members who had stopped using and found recovery. I don't know how you get your hope, but eventually they used and I stayed, right? One is still here in the program and the other one passed away from an overdose. I have two examples of why I need to continue this life of recovery. My third step decision was a process, because I would utter that prayer, take my will in my life and guide me, right? And how to live. I would utter that prayer, but it was still kind of foxhole-ish. There had to be something more in my heart, right? What was in my mind had to reach my heart. And that, my friend, came over time. And this is what I want to say. Hope can become your best companion. It hangs out really cool, deeply with faith. And guess who some of their best role models are? Hope and faith, love. They watch everything that love does. And when they're hanging out with love and watching what love does, hope and faith get together and say, you know what? We got this. We got this. We got a God that loves us. We can do this. If you're struggling with your third step, it's probably because you're struggling with redefining or your definition of your higher power. I challenge you to go back there and figure it out. Because when you get those three chilling with each other, love, faith, and hope, you got the best compadres that you could ever wish to have. Even when people fail you, those three will never fail you. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose. That's crazy, right? I just went so deep and ended the podcast so quickly. And for that, I apologize. But I'm not apologizing for what I'm about to do, which is do the next meditation. Have a beautiful day on purpose.